First thing that I want to do is I'm going to tell you about the ground rules. And from there, then I'm going to have Jesus demonstrate the way that our timing is going to work. But what we're going to do is this is going to exist in 3 separate phases. The first phase, each candidate is going to be given 20 seconds to introduce themselves and then tell you why he or she should be elected. In part 2, there's going to be a series of questions. And none of the candidates have seen these questions. I will be reading them to the candidates for the first time. They will have 90 seconds in which to speak to that issue. At the end, after all 4 have spoken for 90 seconds, then they will each be given an opportunity for an additional 30 seconds of rebuttal time to address something that one of the other candidates may have said. Finally, in part 3, we are going to afford each of the candidates an additional 2 minutes to sum up their position on the issues and to tell you again why it is that they are deserving of your vote. So with that being said, we have given each of the candidates a number, and that number is on a piece of paper. And for this first opportunity of 20 seconds apiece, Jesus, if you can put 20 seconds up on the board. We are going to go just in straight numerical order, 1, 2, 3, 4. And candidates, when the time goes to 0, your time is up. You have to stop talking. Whether you want to stand up or you want to sit down, we don't really care. What we care about is to hear from you and to hear from each of you on the various issues. Speaking of which, the chamber has prepared a series of questions for the candidates to answer. And those questions happen to be in this sealed envelope. And I will be pulling them out at random, and we will go through a number of them. We're not going to get through all of them tonight because eventually I know that you all want to go home. So, without further ado, who is speaker number 1?
Go ahead. I get it.
Oh, that would be the mayor.
All right.
I'm Sylvia Ballin. This is my 4th year in the city council, and of course I'm up for re-election. I'm a 30-plus year resident of the city of San Fernando. I feel I'm probably the best choice for city council. I have a lot of management experience, leadership experience, and I'm very, very concerned about the financial stability of the city.
Thank you, Sylvia. Speaker number 2.
Sorry about that.
I'm Councilmember Antonio Lopez. I've been in council now for 4 years, as well as the mayor here. First time I moved in San Fernando was 39 years ago, so I've been pretty much all my life here in San Fernando. And a couple of small sections of my life I was elsewhere, but once I got married, I came back to San Fernando. My key points are to keep the fiscal stability of the city, as we've worked very hard in this past 2 years, economic development, and job creation. Thank you.
All right. Speaker number 3.
I'm Jesse Avila. Thank you for coming, first of all. It's wonderful to see all this. I am part of the recall committee. Been here 2 years, took over the longest, I thought was going to be the longest term. That would have been Brenda Escala's position. As a member of the recall committee, I have pretty much an agenda that we follow. Community stability, financial stability, and stop all the bleeding and get everything corrected and get the people involved, and include an open process and encourage what we have here.
Jesse, I got to stop you there. We're going to speaker number 4.
My name is Yolanda Haro. Thank you for inviting me here tonight, Chamber. I am a married mother of 3 children, wonderful young man. I'm a resident of San Fernando for the past 12 years, proud homeowner here in San Fernando, and I have family roots that go back to the 1960s here. There are a lot of concerns regarding businesses, development, and programs for our young children, especially those with special needs. We have a population of over 5,000, and they have not been represented fairly. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Yolanda. So now we're going to move to the substantive issues, and I'm going to open this first envelope. And the first question is going to... You got it?
All you.
All right, terrific. Jesse, you will be answering the first question. The question is, what is your position on local business and why should they support you?
I've been endorsed by the Small Business PAC, and that's an organization that represents all small business. And one of them is because I push for small business. I'm also labor. And my position on all that is if labor and business get together, we both will benefit. San Fernando is a small city. The type of businesses that can come in must be able to obviously not only survive but profit from here. They look at our city, what we have to offer. I reached out to them because there was a lack of trust. Stability of the city, once we've become financially stable, which we're getting there, that's what attracts small business. But when I speak of small business, I'm talking about the next generation. As a planner, I don't think as what we're going to do tomorrow or 5 years from now. I deal in 10, 20-year cycles. But first, if you're not stable, you can't think beyond any of that. So the business that I attract is what the business will be of the future, and it's a youth. So we're talking about Wi-Fi. We're talking about places that people will come to there, not only for food, entertainment, but also places that they can benefit from. Library Open, the Library Plaza. If you've not been there, you should. But that's what I think of. And also places where our future can afford to live here. That's what I bring to it.
Thank you, Jesse. Speaker number 2 is Yolanda. What is your position on local business and why should they support you?
The reason they should support me is I support them every day as a resident of the city of San Fernando. The first place I go to is a mom and pop shop in the city. Before I go to any big box market, I always make sure that our city is being supported by me and my family. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of mom and pop shops are leaving our city, and we really need to do a better job of supporting the local businesses before we step out of our city.
Speaker number 3 is Sylvia. What is your position on local business and why should they support you?
Oh, right, okay. Now ask the question again.
Sure. What is your position on local business and why should they support you?
My position on local business is education. Unfortunately, we have a lot of small businesses that fail in our city.
Put the switch on. Hey. Start again.
Is that sabotage?
No.
No, it isn't. I know that, Yolanda. Anyway, as I was saying that, one of my biggest concern is the fact that we have a lot of our small businesses that actually are failing. And they're failing for many, many, many reasons. And we need to do something to help them survive, to help them develop and understand a business model that will succeed for them. One of the things that I had asked for is parking. I mean, what sense does it make if you open up a small business and there isn't anywhere to park? And that's one of the biggest problems we have here in the city of San Fernando. So if you've been to Compañía, you'll see that the parking meters have been removed. That's a step in the right direction. We need to do a lot more. We need to do what we can to educate our small business owners. They really know their trade, but they don't know the business side of it many a times. And it's just unfortunate that you constantly see a vacancy and another vacancy. So there's a failure of the system. We're failing them, and it should not be. And we want to do business here in the city of San Fernando. But some of those businesses are not here. I would love to see them succeed and be as successful as Starbucks. Why not?
Thank you, Sylvia. Antonio, what is your position on local business and why should they support you?
Thank you. I'm probably one of the biggest advocates of local business here with the city council. Since coming to city council, I've been working hand by hand with a lot of businesses, not only local, but all types of businesses that have come to the city. I think it's one of the most important things as our economy moves forward is to have that locally succeed. Being out there and speaking to the community and telling them what's here. I think there's always the need to know that we have a lot of business in town, and then there's areas to shop. And I think that's what I've done, advocate for business, and that's why you see business coming into town. I've been out there working really hard. That's why you see Chipotle. That's why you see Yogurtland. That's why you see the AT&T store. Because I've been out there working hard, and many other businesses are coming our way. San Fernando Brewery, you know, I received a call and made sure that, you know, I guide them to the right staff. And it's not, and it's about guiding, you know, and helping. Part of us is to help them find the right person at City Hall to get stuff done. And I think that's key. And I think that's what I bring to the City Council is a knowledge of being able to work with business. I work with business every single day, all types. And I think, and once you start looking at the business in San Fernando, you'll open your eyes. There's so many different types. If it's manufacturing, if it's, you know, local producers that sell to the farmers markets, all types, you know, it's car dealerships. It's just a growth. And I think that's what we're seeing now.
Thank you. Jesse, 30-second rebuttal. Jesus, can we have the time at 30?
Small business looks at what is available. And they also plan for the future as well. Compañía is a good example. The Library Plaza is another example. Tres Hermanos is actually another example, Chipotle. Things that are necessarily on our radar. It's an issue of trust. If it's a business-friendly community, they will come. And they will look, they'll provide what's needed. But you need to tell us what that is.
Thank you. Yolanda?
One of the things I've noticed as I was campaigning, going up and down Maclay, part of Maclay has been pretty much forgotten. I've seen a lot of broken windows, spoken to a lot of the business owners, and that has not been addressed. So we need to really make sure with the City Council that they are engaged with their small business communities and really listening to their needs as well. So there, like you said, there is a trust there. Without that trust, people will end up leaving. So we really need to build a trust and a communication
Right. Thank
with
you.
them.
Sylvia?
Turn it on.
I like her.
Make your time start, Jesus.
Well, I'm going to go back to the small businesses leaving town. It's good to find that, you know, we do everything we can to encourage the small businesses to come into town, to open up. But we need to do a little bit more and make our city business friendly. We need to do everything we can to support them. And I would say pretty much what Yolanda said. Go down Maclay Street. Get to know the business owners, see how you can help them. I happen to stop.
Antonio?
I have to disagree. I think we are business friendly. I think that's the reason why we're seeing all this new business come to town and being able to work with them. I disagree that the lack of parking. I think we first need to get the business here, and then we worry about the parking. I think there's a lot of parking. We have parking lots that are empty near Compañía. So once we fill those lots, then let's start thinking about how we're going to deal with the issues. I think it's good to walk. Our walkable city is important, and we need to walk 2 blocks. Let's walk 2 blocks.
All right, thank you. Don't put the microphone down. You're up first for our next question. Question number 2. We have a growing young population in the city of San Fernando. How do you plan on addressing housing needs and incentives for them to return and invest in San Fernando?
Yes, there is a large need of housing, not only in San Fernando, but all over the county. I think that's one of the biggest issues we face here. And I think part of it is making housing affordable. It's out there, and people need to understand that it's not that easy to be able to purchase homes right now. You know, that the banks makes it harder and harder. Therefore, we need to be able to provide apartments. There needs to be the need for apartments, and it's not just San Fernando, it's everywhere. You know, it's happening all over the county of Los Angeles. If it's Beverly Hills, if it's West Hollywood, if it's Santa Monica, it's a dire need. And I think, obviously, we need to provide, again, affordable housing. There's the need for affordable housing. It means many things, and mixed housing. But that's how, you know, you're going to be able to keep youth here. People move out of the city because they can't find a place to live, and you start seeing the overcrowdedness of the city, and you have all these issues with parking. Why? Because we can't provide housing, and so that's a key element to the city of growth. And that's the way we attract businesses. You know, there's increasing population in certain sectors of the city. So it's very, very important to address that issue, which is affordable housing. Thank you.
All right. Sylvia, we have a growing young population in the city of San Fernando. How do you plan on addressing housing needs and incentives for them to return and invest in San Fernando?
Well, I'm actually excited that we have a growing younger population in San Fernando. But I believe in moderate pricing housing, not affordable housing, not low-income housing, particularly low-income housing. I oppose it. I think that we're oversaturated. We're too small of a city. You have the city of Los Angeles that they don't even meet the criteria for the low-income housing that they should. So why us? And I am very concerned about it. Now, we're talking about the young people, but there's people 40, 50, 60 years old that cannot afford housing. It doesn't matter what age group you are. You just cannot afford the housing right now. And people are doubling up. How many of us had our children move back home during the very difficult times in the recession? So I cannot support low-income housing, and I do support moderate income housing. Why not? Why not? Why do we want to settle? Why do we want that for our city? I don't want that. That brings other issues to our city, and I'm very, very concerned about it. So I have a very strong position on it, and I'm not going to change my mind about that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think what we could, if we're talking about bringing businesses in, where is the income that they're going to be able to spend to the businesses? All they can do is pay their house note.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yolanda, we have a growing young population in the city of San Fernando. How do you plan on addressing housing needs and incentives for them to return and invest in San Fernando?
That's a great question. We're going to have already the current city council, Mr. Avila and Mr. Lopez have already voted in favor of the low-income or affordable housing. So we're going to have to 129 units already going up. I think we have to be very careful of the city's infrastructure by bringing more of these developments. But for now, I think the needs are going to be met with these two developments. For the single person, a single parent, newly married couple, if that's what they're supposed to be for, I think those needs will already be met.
Thank you. Jesse?
First, we have to understand what low and affordable housing are. I don't know what you consider low and moderate income. We're talking about $32,000 a year, $36,000 to be able to afford to move into an apartment that's going to be built. I don't consider that low income. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be like the projects as it's been alleged. It's about affording a reasonable priced home where you can have at least two people. Well, two people is going to be it. But it's in a place also that can have money that they can be spending in the mall. That's one way, it's not mixed words, that's what we're talking about. How are you going to maintain a small business if we don't have the people who are going to buy and purchase and use that facility? It's not going to work. So let's define those and let's get it straight. It's not low income, it's moderate, it's affordable, it's what you can afford, and there are certain limitations as to the minimum amount you can have. You have to earn in order to be there. They're not projects as the coin, as we said, it's not. We want the youth to come in who do have jobs, who can afford, who want to be here, who have the means and want them. And that's what I respond to for the future.
Thank you. Can you pass the microphone to Antonio? And Jesus, can we have 30 seconds, please?
Okay, so I think the candidates here are dodging the question. The question was very simple. How are we going to get our youth here back to San Fernando? I think it's, like I said, when I graduated from college, I was not making you know, medium income. I was below medium income, so I needed a place to live. So that's the type of housing we need to have. We need to have housing that